Immediately upon clicking the video, you're probably wondering what is PSO2? To answer that question, it's an MMO with action RPG combat and a gameplay loop where you kill monsters, acquire loot, hone your skills, and slay a celestial god. Or two. Or three. All set to an epic soundtrack. Roll the clip. Welcome to Phantasy Star Online 2. Welcome to Phantasy Star Online 2. We're currently at the start of episode 6. You can think of this as the 6th expansion of sorts. And now is as good a time as ever to get into the game. And today's video is going to show you precisely how to do that. But first, I want to elaborate just a little bit on what this game is. First and foremost, this game is free to play, not pay to win. It offers a wide variety of playstyles with 9 classes to choose from, plus an additional 3 successor classes, which amplify certain combat aspects past the original 9. There is a 4th available successor class on the Japan server at the moment, so it's only a matter of time before we get our hands on it on the global server. Oh, that's right, this is the global server, which launched earlier this year in 2020. We waited 8 years to finally play this game, and even despite that wait, I can confidently say it was well worth the patience. You might be thinking, wait, this game was made in 2012? And you'd be right. But even to this day, PSO2 still gets a barrage of updates every other week, and the biggest update is coming later this year in 2021. That's right, we're getting an open field sequel to PSO2. While it's not called PSO3, this game is designed to be played alongside PSO2 as a shared universe. It is known as PSO New Genesis, and it comes with an engine and graphics overhaul. And the best part is, PSO2 also gets this engine and graphical update. So to answer that question of, well, if NGS is coming out later, should I still play PSO2? The answer is a staggering yes. Your character, cosmetics, and emotes will transfer to NGS. PSO2's gameplay has stood the test of time. Besides being Sega's top earning game, PSO2 is still brimming with easily thousands of hours of engaging content. I should know. I'm already 1,500 hours in. I have 8 characters, 3 of which have very distinct builds that thrive in the endgame. For example, this is my main character. I refer to this one as Small Ranger. She uses obnoxiously large rifles to deal lethal piercing damage with a rocket launcher to deal with groups of mobs. Since Phantasy Star is an action RPG, you would think that it's limited to the traditional tab targeting of an MMO, but this isn't the case. In fact, you can use a crosshair to deliberately aim where you want to aim. So this absolutely satisfies my first-person shooter addiction. My second character is referred to as Maid Tank, but that's for obvious reasons. She is a support magic user that is indestructible. Nothing in the game can kill her. But as an unfortunate trade-off for this godly power, she also can't deal any damage, which is why it has been hilarious for YouTube content, a snippet of which you're about to see. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation. This is it! Time to show Phaleg why the attack stat is overrated! Failed? Now, onto my third character, which I refer to as Nondescript Pet Trainer. I pretty much made this one because my mom wanted to play PSO2 and chose Summoner, and I felt bad about not being able to answer any of her questions about the class she chose. So, enjoy this clip of me taking her on the latest boss kill of the last episode. You know it's a sad day when your mom is a higher level than you? Oh no, did you have a train wreck of a last one?
At some point, half the rounds I get killed after the big purple ball, and I don't know what the heck happened wrong.
Okay, so the ball is what they call a wipe mechanic. Everybody has to do enough damage to the ball to prevent the boss from just instant killing everybody. So it's not your fault.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, so like you see before the ball comes down, use our Rappy to build up that totem pole, you know what I mean? This one right here. And like right when the ball drops, you just smack that totem pole, then you switch to your Marin, which is the one that you yeet at the boss for big damage. And then after the Marin explodes, it'll set up your Synchro so that the Synchro does more damage, and then you just combo the ball as usual. Oh my gosh, I forget how much damage Summoner does. Almost. It wasn't enough. No, I tried. I didn't yeet the Marin, so it's my fault. Alright, let me yeet a Marin at him. Oh, never mind, we got it. Good job. So yeah, that clip kind of reminds me that this game accommodates all skill levels and is very respectful of your time, giving a ridiculous amount of forward progress with a quick 15-minute daily login or an odd 2-hour session on the weekend. Like any MMO, expect this game to have depth, but don't let that scare you away. Instead, consider how much fun these systems can enable. Players enjoy a game like this for a variety of reasons, including the combat, fashion, economy, and overall social atmosphere. This game has a wickedly invested screenshot community, for example. In terms of my taste in gaming, Phantasy Star Online honestly set the foundation. It harkens back to the Dreamcast. Do you remember that? With the original Phantasy Star Online episode 1 and 2, that's what it was called, and it was later released on the GameCube. So at the time, I was playing Halo, I was playing RuneScape. PSO was an earth-shattering concept for consoles. It brought the MMO action RPG to the console and added a lot of gameplay systems that a lot of games wish they had to this day in 2020, let alone in the early 2000s. I seriously can't see another game keeping my attention with PSO2 existing as it stands, and then we also have NGS around the corner, so it's gonna get even better. So, I'm getting a little bit off topic here, so let's jump to the Getting Started guide. Getting Started guide. Choose a ship, aka server. I'm on ship 1, but ship 2 is more populated from what I hear. Create your character. Each race has a slight stat difference, but ultimately, these don't matter in the endgame. Choose your class. To choose fighter, gunner, or techer, you have to access them at the class counter in the main lobby. There are additional classes called Successor Classes, which are unlocked after hitting level 75 on 2 classes. When you level up, you earn points to spend on a skill tree. Do not randomly distribute the points since it costs real money to reset your skill tree. But even if you do mess up, it's not the end of the world because a free reset pass is given periodically. But anyway, before distributing any points, I recommend referencing a skill tree guide beforehand, link in the description below. If you plan on running a successor class, I can confidently say you can ignore running a recommended build on your subclass only. Choose Braver, Bouncer, or Ranger and throw points into the deck skill, since this will allow you to equip higher level weapons and armor earlier. If you're liking the background gameplay, this is the successor class known as Phantom. Thank you Azalera for the excellent gameplay, since I don't play Phantom yet. I'm still on that Ranger life. Anyhow, do the tutorial. This game is friendly with both controller and mouse and keyboard. Consider the following settings in the options. Automatically pick up Meseta, immediate weapon unit and material acquisition, display rare drop animations when 13 star or greater, and I'll release a video on my keybinds later. When you finish the tutorial, you'll touch down in the main gate area. Follow the on-screen prompts to knock out the first story cutscene, then you'll return to the gate area. Once there, talk to Affin and do client orders. This is the PSO equivalent to Destiny 2's bounty system, but these are designed as a tutorial, so be sure to read them carefully and follow the directions. You'll also want to talk to another NPC named Coffee, and also do client orders. As you do these client orders, you will want to access the menu, that would be the escape key, then shift as a shortcut key, or hover to the globe icon and select ARX missions. You then want to turn in every ARX mission that you complete, because this will give you some pretty good stuff and some experience to level up. Eventually, Coffee will give you a mag, but don't do anything to it till I cover that in a later section. For now, all you have to know is that a mag is a floating shoulder companion that you feed items to level up its stats that improve your own character's stats. So just don't get too hasty and feed your mag random items because you don't even know what class you want to main yet, and you might mess up your mag, which is a pretty costly mistake in the early game, but by the end game, it's very fixable. Now, continuing on this tutorial, you should be able to try out various classes during the practice quest. So talk to Rebecca, the quest counter clerk, to access quests, including practice quest. A useful tip is that the end key is a shortcut for the quick menu, which is useful for navigating to various places in the lobby. You can also exit any quest early by pulling up the menu, hovering over the globe icon, selecting quest info, then quest abandon, and it will drag you out quickly to the lobby. We're now at the section of the tutorial where you want to earn EXP to level up, so to do this you can turn in ARX missions and client orders. Additionally, you can complete explorations, also known as expedition missions, by talking to the quest counter clerk and selecting explorations. Complete the forest exploration and then visit the title keeper after completing it for a 15,000 experience ticket. This item is exactly what you think it is. In the menu, use this ticket and you get 15,000 experience. And yes, you get one of these for each exploration done. When you reach level 20, talk to Coffee and she'll allow you to have a subclass. In fact, anytime you reach a level milestone, talk to Coffee. She's often the gatekeeper of reaching harder content in Pso2. For the subclass related client order, she wants you to kill a Garango and a Fodron. The Garango can be found in the Forest Area 2, and the Fodron can be found in Volcanic Caves Area 2. So for your subclass, go ahead and follow that recommended skill tree guide, and if you plan on using a successor class, then I do recommend using Braver, Bouncer, or Ranger as a subclass, whatever one you like the least, to distribute points into the Dexterity skill, which will allow you to equip high rarity weapons and units a lot earlier. At this point, you're pretty much free to do whatever you want. Feel free to explore the world of Pso2, relax. This is a cooperative PvE game after all, so take things at your own pace and enjoy checking out new areas and activities. But if you wanted to continue leveling, then just keep doing ARX missions, explorations, make sure you go to the title keeper and get those tickets, and then you also do client orders to level up. You can complete client orders while you do other missions, so you double dip on this. To accomplish this, open up the menu, hover over that globe icon, select client orders, then orders that can be accepted in the fields of ongoing quests to find valid client orders for whatever particular mission you've accepted. Don't forget you can also delete client orders if you grab too many. You can easily up your arsenal by using the player shop, which is accessed via the Visiphone, which is that terminal with the pink and purple question mark. You'll learn to navigate the menus over time and use the player shop, but for now just pay carefully attention on screen. You want to go to the Visiphone, Personal Shop, Product Search, use the drop-down menu under Category Settings, go to Weapons, then use the drop-down menu under Subcategories, choose your appropriate weapon type for your class, then at the bottom right, search by price. Additionally, you can click the box Equipable Only to filter to things that only you can equip. You can additionally search for items of a particular rarity. Ideally, the more stars an item has, the better it is. But this doesn't hold true for every item. For now, don't break the bank early since you'll be upgrading constantly on the path to level 85. To earn Meseta, which is the currency in Pso2, you want to do client orders and weekly ARX missions after level 51, and then there's also an NPC named Yurks who will probably be your best friend. This is because Yurks gives you Meseta for completing pretty easy client orders, which mainly involve you harvesting for rare materials. So talk to Yurks, grab the Neighbor Shroom client order, and we're going to the Forest Expedition on the normal difficulty to acquire this item. What you want to do is find a fishing spot, fish until you have a combo fever, and then find a mining spot and mine until you run out of stamina. Your harvesting stamina refills after a couple hours on its own, and you can also harvest on multiple characters. This makes for an excellent moneymaker since you can use excess harvesting materials to create skill rings, or use those at the culinary chef to make dishes that you can also sell on the player shop. Now that you're getting into the swing of things, let's focus on reaching level 75. The reason level 75 is our first goal is because you earn an account-wide stat boost for getting each class to 75. Additionally, you will unlock the Successor Class option when you get 2 classes to 75. Don't forget about that. Your subclass earns less EXP than your main class and caps out at level 65. So after reaching 75 on your main class, I highly recommend swapping out your subclass to your main class to temporarily power level it out to 75. The best method for leveling up and earning EXP is to do the daily recommended quests, specifically the fourth option, which is a daily rotating extremely high EXP rate batch of 5 different quests. As you play the game, if you come across any, it is not worth using EXP tickets past level 50-ish. Those tickets are better saved for bolstering a brand new character from level 1 to 50. When you plan on earning a lot of EXP in a play session, be sure to have booster items. You can purchase a 75% experience booster in the player shop. 50% and 100% Tri Boost can be obtained from ARX missions and various sources. The Tri Boost is a boost to EXP earned, Meseta, which is the main currency, and rare drop rate. Keep in mind that this boost does stack with that 75% EXP booster, and you can additionally buy a 250% rare drop rate booster from the EX Cube shop in the shopping plaza. There's not a moment that goes by where I'm not using a 75% experience booster plus a 250% rare drop booster plus a 50% Tri Boost. It is always on. Also, at the start of every mission, be sure to go to the drink vendor and pick up a shipped drink and drink it until you get an EXP boost, if you want EXP of course. Also, don't forget to stop by the daily order officer and pick up client orders that upon completion will stack towards a 50% Tri Boost. You get 3 of these per day, so make sure to do them every day. They also work in tandem with the first recommended quest. I usually save a lot of those up. Additionally, you can obtain more boost to your experience rate by utilizing weapons with an increased experience perk. There's also another perk called Alternate History, which does the same thing, and it can be on the same weapon. And then there's also something called Timed Abilities for your units, your armor, as well as an Alliance Tree experience buff. You can also get a Tri Boost effect for each player in your party up to 40%. So if you have a party of 4 people, that is a plus 40% Tri Boost. So it's highly worth partying up with other players. A fellow PSO2 content creator, Anamana, has created a nice, cleanly visual guide for understanding what EXP boost exists and how to apply them. So check that one out. It basically goes over the last 2 minutes of me talking, but in a much cleaner format since it's a focused video. So check out that vid in the description below. Now moving on, urgent quests can be a great source of EXP with a strong chance of finding other people doing the same thing. Urgent quests are scheduled throughout the day, but are sometimes random. You have a 30-minute window to complete these quests, and some UQs, as they're known, can only be completed once per character, or even once per ship. You'll know one of these is happening because the ceiling of the gate area will flash red. UQs can be a variety of activity types, from a raid-like boss battle to tower defense or mobbing with boss fights thrown in. If you find yourself busy working from home, then UQs can be a nice break and change of pace, as well as great EXP and acquisition of rare items. If you're curious about where to find the UQ schedule, then follow this link in the video description below. Since I'm on the topic of a calendar anyway, this is a really good section to talk about campaigns and seasonal content. The main website of Pso2.com and play_Pso2's Twitter can be a great place to find information on campaigns, which usually yield free stuff or enhance experience rates or drop rates for things happening in the world of PSO. Take this month for instance. We have the Christmas UQ going on right now that gives moderate EXP and fantastic drops. Additionally, there is another campaign going on till the 22nd of December for the Limited Quest, or LQ. This LQ is accessible from the quest counter after you complete a forest expedition for the first time. For doing this LQ 9 times on any difficulty, you are given a free unit set that is more than endgame capable. For doing a total of 5 recommended quests, those are the ones that you get 4 per day, you are given a free 15-star weapon, which you can convert into the weapon type of your choosing by talking to an NPC named Zig in the shopping plaza. If you happen to stumble on this vid at a later date, then don't fret because there's probably a similar campaign going on right now, so just check the main website. On the 2nd of every month, players are given a free plus 100 Tri Boost for the entire day in celebration of something called PSO2 Day. It happens again on the 22nd day of the month for just premium users. By the way, premium is a monthly subscription that gives a couple of quality of life bonuses, the biggest of which is automatic access to selling your items on the player shop. If a free player wants to sell these items, then they have to use a free currency called Fun Points, which are obtained for doing social things in the game, like reviving other players. Use fun points to buy a fun scratch ticket until you receive a 3-day shop pass. Then you sell items until it expires. You can additionally buy fun points with EX cubes at the EX cube shop. The shop pass drop rate is about 1 out of 200. If that sounds unfair, it really isn't, considering that it works as a security barrier for multi-accounting and botting. Having a thriving in-game economy is one of an MMO's best features, so this helps that. Think of all the 8 years of content that you get without paying a cent. Once you get your first shop pass, a semi-dedicated player can easily maintain shop pass status for the entirety of its life. I do, though, recommend hoarding valuable items until you can sell around 10 at once. This keeps it pretty self-sufficient. Okay, we're almost done. Bear with me for a little bit longer. We're putting it all together and reaching the endgame. So, by doing daily recommended quests, there is a box awarded at the end of the quest that can randomly reward a bonus key. These keys grant access to solo quests with the highest EXP rates in the game. Save these keys for using around level 70, but ideally around level 80. When you're spending a lot of keys, use every booster possible. In fact, on the weekends there is sometimes an in-game concert that gives a tri-boost effect after listening to it. So, combo this with Pso2 Day and every possible booster, and you can key your way to max level in a single hour. Keep in mind, you can also convert 5 of any key type, expired or not, into a Tokyo Gold key via the swap shop, which gives fantastic EXP rates. The swap shop is also a great utility for turning rare weapons into EX cubes, which is a endgame currency used to trade for a lot of items, as you can tell by the guide so far. If you're short on time, consider stopping at level 85 on any class. At this level, you'll unlock the hardest difficulty option and still be more than powerful enough to conquer that content. I stopped at level 85 on ship 2 and have only done UQs on that ship. I'm level 88 now and about 200 million Meseta richer without wasting any unnecessary time on leveling. In Pso2, you only need to do the chore of leveling once per class, but as you stack up keys and see various EXP campaigns roll out, you'll be tempted to do it again on another class or another character. This is part of the fun of Pso2. You'll end up leveling something because you can pretty much do it for free in an hour and accidentally fall in love with that class's quirks. This is how I landed on the Force class. I originally leveled it up as a way to use my level 200 Technique Mag as an additionally more offensive option than my Techer Tank. Lo and behold, I spent a good 100 hours crafting a way to play Force that felt like hitting a combo string in a fighting game. If you made it this far in the video, you're a dedicated enough player that you'd be right at home in an alliance. This is this game's clan or guild system. You can search for one to join via the Visiphone. If you'd like to join my community alliance, check the video description to join my Pso2 community Discord, and check the recruiting section of said Discord. If you'd like to apply to my much more hardcore but still pretty lax main alliance, then that is in the same Discord section. Alliances are great because obviously you'll more easily find players to game with, but you can also do alliance client orders that give you points you can spend on upgrading a community tree that gives your team various buffs. Even if you don't want to join an alliance, I'll be setting up a new player section in the Discord to help those who watch the video and want to party up with other people or ask some veterans some questions. A final tip to mention is that you can change the character overhead display via the quick menu to show a player's alliance. This is useful if you want to spot a tier 1 or tier 1.x member and ask them some questions. We hang out on ship 1 block 33 majority of the time, and Franco's Cafe is our default meetup location. Don't think I forgot to go back to talking about mags. A mag is your floating shoulder companion. As a quick rule of thumb, the mag stats to shoot for is a pure level 200 in your class's respective offensive stat. Melee for Hunter, Range for Ranger, and Tech for Force. For Bravers, Bouncers, and future Phantoms, Dex is the stat you want, since their skill tree perk converts Dex into offensive power. Feeding a mag is a specific and long process, but there is a shortcut method with mag devices. After turning in ARX missions, you'll acquire a starter pack with 50 of each mag device. You can use these immediately with no cooldown to level up your mag. Long term, you can purchase more devices, so if you don't feel like you want to worry about feeding it items, you don't have to. If you still want to feed your mag items normally and wait on that 30-minute cooldown all the way to level 200, you can, but I strongly recommend looking up a mag feeding guide. Here's one created by my friend Azalera, link in the video description below. In the upper floor of the shopping plaza, the Photon Drop Swapper Shop sells food devices, and the EX Cube Shop sells other useful mag devices, including level reduction devices and Photon Blast devices. A Photon Blast is a charged powerful attack from your mag. I recommend using Julius Nifta or Cetus Proi. Another thing to mention about mags is that if you make a mistake, you can fix it. There exist mag de-leveling devices, which are easier to come by in the endgame. These de-leveling devices can be used with a specific feeding order to create a mag with unique auto abilities. So if you're the kind of player that min-maxes everything possible, then know that this exists, but in my opinion, it makes very little difference for 99% of the game. After all, you only get one mag for free, with each additional mag costing about 3 USD, so it's smart to build each of your 3 free characters to have different playstyles from each other, so that each can take advantage of different mags. Also, don't forget to equip your mag. I totally didn't play the first 10 hours without that or anything. Okay, some additional things that I want to mention before I start closing out the video is that the story mode can give some very valuable rewards, and it gives a ton of star gems, which is a good currency for buying cosmetic items and a couple other quality of life upgrades in the game. As you're passively playing through the game, the Equipment Officer is a very valuable NPC because she offers the collection folder. So basically, you kill some enemies, you do some certain quests, and you get a rare item for free. Sometimes these are very powerful, sometimes these are just simply valuable. Between this and all the tips given throughout this entire video, your PSO characters should have a great foundation for doing whatever you want in the game, whether that be catching an urgent quest for a chance at a rare drop, farming a boss or something for currency, or learning the ins and outs of the intricate combat system. As they say in Phantasy Star Online 2, the real endgame is fashion, and I haven't even touched on that in this video. So, my advice, moving on here, is anything you're interested in PSO2, it is a search away. There are so many talented content creators in this community, give them a chance. Now that we're at the end game, for those of you who want that additional challenge, there are aspirational modes in PSO. There's the challenge mode, which is one of my favorite modes, where you start at a level 1, and it's sort of like a roguelike adventure as you level up and go through the scenarios. There is time attack, which is a speed run, and it is ranked, by the way, so if you place top 100, top 20, something like that, you get a bonus of star gems each week, so there is a reason to go for a top score. Then there's the endless mode, which pretty much is the entire game in an unlimited mode where score only goes up, and each level has a modifier on it, a mission objective to reach that awards you more time so you can keep going endlessly. It gets super difficult and requires almost perfect mastery of the game to make it far. Outside of the combat, there is high-key a leaderboard for fashion and amount of people who have visited your personal quarters, aka your room, and how you decorate it usually makes people want to visit. So there's that. So with all of this being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. This was a mammoth of a vid to put together, but it happened, it's finished, and I hope that as you start delving into the endgame, you understand just the mega appreciation I have for this game. At this point, it's part of my soul. It's one of my favorites. So, I will see all of you later. I stream very frequently at twitch.tv/camicakes, where I play both PSO2 and Destiny 2. Don't forget to check the description for all those links. I'll see you in the next one.